Bird World, Wild Wings of Guatemala. A land where volcanoes kiss the clouds, jungles hide ancient temples, and every shadow in the forest might just take flight. But here's the question. How did one small country become home to so many of the world's rarest birds? And why does every one of them look like it was hand-painted by the gods of color themselves? Stick around till the end, because the answer hides deep in the Maya rainforest. Here, feathers tell history. The resplendent Quetzal, sacred symbol of freedom, still flashes emerald fire across the misty highlands. The toucan laughs like the forest's own jester, and tiny manakins clap their wings in secret jungle dances. From glowing hummingbirds to midnight owls, every corner of Guatemala sings a story. Ancient, wild, and a little bit unbelievable. So, buckle up. We're heading into the green heart of Central America, where color defies logic, sound becomes spirit and survival. Looks fabulous doing it. Now the real challenge, if you could choose just one bird to see in the wild, would you go for beauty or power? If Guatemala had a crown jewel, this would be it. The resplendent Quetzal isn't just a bird here, it's a legend with feathers. For centuries, this emerald phantom has been worshipped by kings, carved into temples, and whispered about in every Maya story that ever mattered. And honestly, one look and you get why. That shimmering green tail, longer than its body, that fiery red chest, that crest waving like living jade. It doesn't just fly, it floats, like a piece of rainforest light that forgot gravity existed. The ancient Maya believed the Quetzal was the spirit of freedom. They said it would rather die than live in a cage. And here's the wild part. That's not just myth. In captivity, these birds refuse to eat. They literally starve rather than surrender. Now that's commitment. You'll find them in the misty cloud forests of Guatemala's highlands, around Atitlan and the Sierra de las Minas, where cool fog drifts through mossy trees and the air smells like rain and mystery. Seeing one isn't easy. They blend perfectly with the canopy. It's like trying to spot a ghost in a forest full of mirrors. Fun fact, the name Quetzal means precious or sacred, and Guatemala was named for it. Even the national flag carries its image. Forget bald eagles. This is a bird that owns the currency. But here's where it gets interesting. For all its beauty, the Quetzal's call is soft, almost mournful, as if it remembers something the rest of the world forgot. It's the sound of old gods, lost temples, and freedom that refuses to fade. So here's your mini debate. Is the resplendent Quetzal nature's greatest masterpiece, or just proof that perfection doesn't need to shout? Because let's face it, if a bird can make you believe in myths again, maybe it's not just part of the jungle. Maybe it is the jungle. So what do you think? Would you chase this ghost of the Maya highlands, even if it meant wandering through clouds to find it, just for one glimpse of emerald fire in the mist? If the resplendent Quetzal is Guatemala's crown god, then the violet saberwing is its lightning bolt, small, electric, and here to prove that size has nothing to do with power. Picture this, a flash of metallic purple slicing through the misty rainforest, wings beating faster than your eyes can follow. That's not a jewel, it's a hummingbird on a caffeine overdose. This thing's heart beats over 1,000 times per minute, and somehow it still looks calm while doing it. Honestly, the rest of us can't even handle 2 cups of coffee. The violet saberwing is one of the largest hummingbirds in Central America, about the size of your hand. But every movement says, I own this airspace. It hovers, it hums, it flickers in and out of light like it's glitching between dimensions. And when sunlight hits those feathers, the forest doesn't need rainbows anymore. This bird is the rainbow. Fun fact, hummingbirds don't just hover, they can fly backward, sideways, even upside down. They're the only birds on Earth that can do it. Engineers study them for flight mechanics. Meanwhile, they're just out here stealing nectar and looking fabulous. But make no mistake, this violet diva isn't gentle. It's territorial, aggressive, and fearless. If another bird dares to sip from its favorite flower, bam, instant mid-air showdown. Those saber wings? They're named for the sharp curve of its outer feathers, which slice through air like tiny blades. Cute? Yes. Harmless? Absolutely not. Here's your mini debate. Is the violet saberwing a symbol of freedom and grace, or a high-speed nectar addict with anger management issues? Because sure, it glows like royalty, but it also fights like a caffeinated sword fighter. Still, you've got to love it. It's proof that beauty doesn't wait to be noticed. It zips right past your face at 50 miles an hour. So what do you think? Would you call it magical or mildly terrifying with good lighting? Either way, the next time you see a shimmer in the jungle fog, don't blink. That's not sunlight. That's a saberwing on a mission. After the high-speed chaos of the violet saberwing, let's slow things way down, like rainforest slow. Because here comes the slaty-tailed trogon, a bird that moves at the pace of a monk on vacation. It sits quietly on a shaded branch, red belly glowing like a secret ember in the green. No rush, no drama, just that calm, unbothered stare that says, I've seen empires rise and fall, and I'm still fabulous. This bird is a living echo of the ancient tropics. You can find it perched motionless for minutes, sometimes hours, waiting for the perfect insect or fruit to wander into range. When it finally moves, it's a slow, deliberate swoop, like it's allergic to effort. Some call it lazy. I call it strategic energy management. And let's talk about that look. Forest green back, red chest, and that cool slate gray tail that inspired its name. It's not flashy like a toucan or sparkling like a hummingbird, but it has presence, like the guy in a leather jacket who never speaks, yet everyone listens when he does. Fun fact, the trogon family is ancient. Fossils show they've been around for over 30 million years, barely changing since. So yeah, this bird is the definition of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. While the rest of evolution was out reinventing feathers, the trogon just leaned back and said, nah, I'm good. Its call is deep and echoing, a slow coo-coo-coo that rolls through the jungle like distant thunder. Locals say it sounds like the forest itself breathing, and honestly, they're not wrong. Here's your mini debate. Is the slaty-tailed trogon a wise old soul of the rainforest, or just the chillest procrastinator in nature? Because while everyone else is flapping and stressing, this bird's out here living its best slow-motion life. Still, there's something oddly inspiring about it. Maybe we could all use a little trogon energy. Less panic, more patience. So what do you think? Zen master or lazy genius? Either way, he's definitely not in a hurry to care what you decide. If the slaty-tailed trogon was the quiet philosopher of the rainforest, then the black-headed trogon is his loud, flashy cousin who shows up late to family dinner, wearing sunglasses indoors. You can't miss it. Glossy black head, lemon yellow belly, blue ringed eyes. It's like a tropical cocktail with feathers. While most birds blend in, this one's whole philosophy is, why fit in when you were born to stand out? You'll find it in Guatemala's warm lowland forests, bouncing from fig tree to fig tree. Its call echoing like a squeaky toy you can't turn off. Seriously, its voice sounds like someone trying to start a car that's out of gas. But somehow it's still charming. The black-headed trogon isn't shy about attention. While its cousin, the slaty-tail, hides in shade, this one perches right in the open, posing like, yeah, get my good side. And that tail, those crisp white and black bars, fan out like a designer logo. You can almost hear it say, I don't do camouflage, I am the scenery. Fun fact, these birds are basically architects of the rainforest. They carve out nesting holes in termite mounds. Yes, termite mounds. Sounds crazy, right? But termites keep the inside temperature stable and predators out. So while it looks like a risky real estate choice, the trogon's actually living in an insect-built smart home. They're also monogamous, but don't imagine some mushy romance. Males spend half their time yelling to remind everyone they're taken, and the other half showing off anyway. It's the avian version of happily married, but still dramatic. Here's your mini debate. Is the black-headed trogon a confident artist or just the rainforest's loudest extrovert? Because sure, it looks divine, but it also seems one selfie away from starting its own influencer channel. Still, you have to admire that energy. In a forest full of whisperers, this bird's a front row trumpet. So what do you think? Confidence or chaos? Either way, the jungle feels a little quieter when it's gone. And that's how you know a true diva just left the room. Number 5. And things are about to get artsy. Meet the blue-crowned motmot, the rainforest's stylish trickster, the bird that looks like it woke up, checked the mirror, and said, "Perfection, don't touch a thing." This bird isn't just colorful, it's curated. Turquoise crown, green body, orange belly, and that ridiculous tail that ends in 2 bare feather tips like twin pendulums swaying behind it. But here's the twist. That shape isn't natural. The motmot actually preens its own tail feathers to create that look. That's right, it trims itself for aesthetics. Forget Paris Fashion Week. This bird invented self-styling before humans did. You'll see it perched quietly in the mid-level jungle canopy, watching with that calm, knowing stare. When danger comes near, it gives a strange hoot sound, almost like an owl trapped in a kazoo. It's weirdly adorable. Fun fact, the blue-crowned motmot uses its tail like a metronome, swinging it rhythmically side to side when it feels threatened. Scientists think it's a signal to predators that says, "Yeah, I see you. I'm not panicking. You move first." That's not fear. That's psychological warfare with flair. And here's another surprise. Motmots are part-time insect assassins and fruit critics. They'll snag beetles mid-air, then casually sample a banana or two like they're at a tasting event. High fashion, fine dining. This bird's living a full lifestyle brand. Here's your mini debate. Is the blue-crowned motmot a genius of survival, or just the jungle's most dramatic peacock with anxiety management skills? Because sure, that tail is iconic, but it also looks like something you'd accidentally design on a bad haircut day. Still, you can't help but love it. Every swing of that pendulum tail feels like the forest itself breathing in rhythm. And when it turns its head, you half expect it to wink at the camera. So what do you think? Is the motmot the rainforest's greatest stylist, or just a diva with too much free time? Either way, it proves one thing. In Guatemala, even the birds understand the power of presentation. Number 6, the bird that refuses to be subtle. The keel-billed toucan doesn't just enter the scene, it bursts in like a tropical comedian crashing a meditation retreat. That enormous rainbow-colored bill? Yeah, it looks fake. Green, red, orange, blue. It's like someone gave a crayon set to a sugar-high toddler. And yet somehow it works. It's the bird equivalent of wearing every color in your closet and still pulling it off. You'll find them high in Guatemala's rainforest canopy, bouncing from branch to branch, chattering in that ridiculous croaky call. Half frog, half kazoo, 100% personality. It's not really a song, more like nature's laugh track. Fun fact, that huge bill looks heavy, but it's actually super light, made of hollow keratin. It helps regulate heat and snatch fruit from impossible angles. Basically, it's a built-in air conditioner and a selfie stick. Talk about multitasking. The keel-billed toucan is a social butterfly. Well, a social bowling pin with wings. They travel in groups, tossing fruit to each other, sometimes just for fun. Imagine dinner with friends, but everyone's throwing food. That's a toucan party. And they're not picky eaters either. Fruit, eggs, insects. If it fits in that technicolor mouth, it's fair game. It's like a rainbow on a mission to taste everything in existence. Here's your mini debate. Is the keel-billed toucan nature's funniest comedian, or the loudmouth of the rainforest who just loves attention? Because sure, it's gorgeous, but it also sounds like it's laughing at its own jokes 24/7. Still, you can't stay mad at it. The moment sunlight hits that bill, the whole forest feels happier, like someone just turned the saturation up on reality. So what do you think? Is the toucan proof that confidence is a color palette, or just nature showing off with no filter? Either way, this bird doesn't care. It knows it's fabulous. And it's probably making fun of us right now for overthinking it. Number 7, and the jungle just turned into a dance floor. Meet the white-collared manakin, the little bird that proves you don't need feathers of gold when you've got moves. If you think birds just sing to impress, think again. This one claps. That's right. Males perform an entire dance routine that includes wing snapping, jumping between branches, and making loud pop sounds with their feathers. It's like watching a tiny Michael Jackson. If Michael lived in a bush and wore a tuxedo, the white-collared manakin is a master of rhythm. Each male clears a dance court on the forest floor, sweeping leaves away like he's prepping a stage. Then the show begins, a rapid series of flips, hops, and snaps, each perfectly timed to impress the ladies. Forget peacocks. This bird wins dates through choreography. Fun fact, that snapping sound, it isn't vocal. It's made by slamming its wings together behind its back so fast it literally breaks the sound barrier. That's physics, not flirting. Okay, actually it's both. And these birds take it seriously. If a rival male tries to steal the spotlight, it becomes an instant dance battle. Feathers flying, branches shaking. Somewhere the jungle DJ drops the beat. But here's the twist. The female just watches, quiet, unamused, as if thinking, "Nice try, boys. Seen it before." So after all that energy, most of them still go home single. Talk about dedication. Here's your mini debate. Is the white-collared manakin the most romantic bird alive, or the rainforest's most overworked entertainer? Because sure, it's impressive, but it also looks like a caffeine-powered dance audition that never ends. Still, you have to give it credit. In a forest full of singers, this bird said, "Nah, I'll be the drummer and the dancer." So what do you think? Is the manakin a genius performer ahead of his time? Or just proof that love makes us all do ridiculous things? Either way, he's got better stage presence than half of Hollywood. Number 8, and elegance just got a trigger finger. Meet the rufous-tailed jacamar, the rainforest's most fashionable assassin. A bird so sleek it makes dragonflies nervous by reputation alone. You'll find it perched motionless on a branch, metallic green body shimmering like polished bronze. Long needle-like bill pointed forward, eyes locked in absolute focus. It doesn't move, it doesn't blink, it just waits. And then, snap. One perfect strike, one doomed insect, and the forest goes quiet for a second. This bird doesn't hunt, it performs. Its aim is flawless, its timing theatrical. If the toucan is the clown, the jacamar is the sniper in silk gloves. Fun fact, the jacamar's accuracy is so legendary that locals once called it the jungle marksman. And it doesn't just eat anything. Oh no, it prefers flying insects only. And if the bug isn't fancy enough, it tosses it aside like, sorry, not gourmet. It's the pickiest killer you'll ever meet. And just look at that color. Fiery orange tail, emerald chest, pure gold in sunlight. It's like the jungle decided to make a sword that glows. You could swear it knows how good it looks too. Perched perfectly still, posing as if waiting for National Geographic to get the lighting right. But here's what makes it even more fascinating. After catching its prey mid-air, the jacamar slams it against a branch to break off the wings before swallowing it whole. It's brutal, yes, but done with such grace you almost clap. Here's your mini debate. Is the rufous-tailed jacamar an artist of precision, or just a cold-blooded insect terminator with a great wardrobe? Because it doesn't sing, dance, or preen, it just wins. Quietly, every time. Still, you can't help admiring it. In a world full of noisy birds, this one proves silence can be louder than sound. So what do you think? Is the jacamar elegance in motion, or just beauty with a body count? Either way, it's living proof that style means nothing without aim. Number 9, and the royalty has arrived. Step aside, parrots and toucans. The great curassow doesn't fly through the jungle. It struts. This bird looks like it just left a royal gala. Glossy black feathers, golden bill, and that ridiculous curly crest on its head. Like someone styled its hair mid-thunderstorm and said, "Perfect, Don't change a thing. You'll find them walking gracefully through Guatemala's lowland forests, moving in small groups like they own the place. Because honestly, they kind of do. The curassow doesn't rush for anyone. It glides, pauses dramatically, and looks at you like you just interrupted something important. But don't be fooled by the slow walk. These birds are massive, up to 10 pounds, and strong enough to deliver a kick that could ruin your sandals. They spend most of their time on the ground, foraging for fallen fruits, seeds, and the occasional unlucky insect. If birds had security detail, this one wouldn't need it. Fun fact, male and female curassows look completely different. The males are jet black with that signature yellow bill knob, while females come in 3 patterns: barred, chestnut, or black. It's like they couldn't agree on a dress code and said, "Fine, everyone wear what they want." And here's the kicker. The great curassow sings. Not some sweet melody. No, it lets out a deep, booming oomph that sounds like a distant bass speaker under the jungle floor. You don't just hear it, you feel it in your chest. Here's your mini debate. Is the great curassow the true monarch of the rainforest, or just an overdressed diva with permanent resting bird face? Because sure, it's elegant, but it also looks like it's judging your entire life from 30 feet away. Still, you can't deny it's impressive. When this bird walks, even monkeys pause to watch. So what do you think? Is the curassow nobility or drama royalty? Either way, it proves that in Guatemala's jungle kingdom, the crown doesn't always fly. Sometimes it struts. Number 10, and subtlety just left the chat. Meet the plain chachalaca, the jungle's loudmouth, alarm clock, and neighborhood gossip all rolled into one. If the great curassow is rainforest royalty, then this bird is the next-door neighbor yelling from the balcony at 6 a.m., and it never stops. Its call, a rough, raspy chachalaca, is so loud it sounds like a flock of turkeys arguing about politics. You don't hear a chachalaca, you experience one. They travel in noisy family groups, hopping between branches, flapping like they're late for something important. Even though they never seem to go anywhere. They eat fruit, buds, and leaves, and while they're eating, they're also talking, constantly. It's like an all-day family reunion with no volume control. Fun fact, the name chachalaca literally comes from their call. It's onomatopoeia at its finest. Even scientists gave up trying to name it seriously. Imagine being so loud that humans named you after your own noise. But here's the thing. For all the chaos, they're actually a vital part of the ecosystem. By scattering seeds across wide forest areas, they help new trees grow. So yes, they're noisy, but they're gardeners too. Basically, nature's loudest landscapers. And get this, local Guatemalan farmers sometimes call them the jungle alarm. When chachalacas start yelling, it usually means sunrise, or that a predator's nearby, or they just felt like screaming. Hard to tell, really. Here's your mini debate. Is the plain chachalaca an ecological hero, or just the rainforest version of that one neighbor who owns 3 leaf blowers? Because sure, they do good work, but peace and quiet clearly aren't part of the job description. Still, you can't help but smile at them. They're messy, loud, and unapologetically alive. Proof that not every part of nature whispers. So what do you think? Hero or headache? Either way, when you wake up to their morning chorus, you'll know one thing for sure. The jungle never sleeps in silence. Number 11. And for once, let's turn the volume down. After the chachalaca's jungle concert, the ruddy ground dove glides in like a soft love song you didn't know you needed. Small, warm brown, and impossibly polite, this little dove spends its days wandering open fields and quiet roadsides, cooing softly, pecking at the ground, and generally minding its own business. It's the kind of bird you'd want as a neighbor. Friendly, tidy, never throws loud parties. You'll see them all across Guatemala, often in pairs, because these doves believe in commitment. Once they pick a partner, that's it. They build their tiny nest together, raise chicks together, and even feed them together. Move over, Netflix couples. These two are the real definition of low drama. Fun fact, the ruddy ground dove is one of the few birds that can thrive in both cities and jungles. It doesn't need exotic flowers or ancient trees, just a little patch of earth and a calm place to land. While other birds chase fame and fruit buffets, this one's just out here living the simple life. And they're surprisingly bold for their size. They'll strut right past humans or hang out on rooftops cooing like, "Yeah, this sidewalk's mine now." If confidence were measured in decibels, they'd score low, but high in charm. Here's your mini debate. Is the ruddy ground dove a humble symbol of peace and simplicity, or just the underdog of the bird world that figured out how to win quietly? Because while everyone's chasing the spotlight, this little bird built a happy life right under it. Still, there's something kind of inspiring about that. Not every story in bird world has to roar. Some just flutter softly, reminding you that grace isn't about being noticed. It's about being content. So what do you think? Is the ruddy ground dove boring or beautifully balanced? Either way, it's the kind of bird that proves one thing: you don't have to be loud to live loud. Number 12, and the jungle just went back to work. Meet the northern barred woodcreeper, the quiet craftsman of Guatemala's rainforest, a bird that spends every day doing one thing: building, tapping, and tidying like it owns a construction company in the trees. It doesn't sing, it doesn't dance, it just climbs, slowly, vertically, like a feathered electrician. You'll see it moving up tree trunks in spiral motions, tail braced for balance, long curved beak probing into bark for hidden insects. No drama, no flair, just precision. This isn't your flashy toucan or your moody owl. This is the blue-collar worker of the rainforest. While everyone else is showing off, the woodcreeper is the one keeping pest populations in check. It's nature's janitor, engineer, and pest control all in one. Fun fact, its feet are specialized for climbing. 2 toes face forward, 2 backward, like built-in rock climbing gear. And that stiff tail, it's not decoration, it's a brace, allowing the bird to cling vertically for hours. If gravity had a nemesis, it'd be this bird. And let's talk about that sound. A series of soft, echoing whit, 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 whit calls that rise and fade through the canopy. It's like a carpenter whistling while he works. There's something oddly peaceful about it, a reminder that not all jungle music is wild chaos. The northern barred woodcreeper doesn't look for attention. Its feathers are brown and patterned like tree bark. Perfect camouflage, zero vanity. If the motmot is fashion, this bird is function. Here's your mini debate. Is the woodcreeper the forest's hardest worker, or just the quiet introvert who enjoys avoiding meetings? Because while others are out there showing off their feathers, this guy's clocked 10,000 steps before breakfast. Still, there's something admirable about that focus. It's not chasing fame, it's chasing termites. And it's doing it with style only hard work can buy. So what do you think? Is the woodcreeper underrated or just underpaid? Either way, next time you hear that gentle tapping in the canopy, remember it's the sound of dedication with feathers. Number 13, and the lights just went out. The rainforest sleeps, except for one pair of eyes still open. Meet the black and white owl, the silent guardian of Guatemala's night. Half mystery, half mood lighting. This bird looks like it came straight out of a Gothic movie. Jet black back, pure white belly, and eyes that glow like yellow lanterns. It sits perfectly still on a branch, head slightly tilted, judging everything. If the jungle had a night manager, this would be him. You'll find it haunting the edges of rainforests, often near clearings and rivers where moths gather. It doesn't chase, it waits. Then, without warning, a whisper of wings, a flash of claws, and dinner's gone. Silent, efficient, terrifyingly elegant. Fun fact, owls like this one have special feathers that let them fly noiselessly. The edges of their wings are serrated, breaking up airflow so there's no sound. They're literal stealth bombers in feathers. You could have one glide right over your head and you'd never know, until something screams. And here's where it gets creepier. The black and white owl doesn't just eat insects, it hunts bats. Yep, the hunter of the night eats the other hunters of the night. It's like Batman being eaten by an even quieter Batman. Their call is haunting too, a deep rhythmic hoo 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 hoo. Not spooky exactly, just enough to make you check your flashlight batteries. It echoes through the trees like a heartbeat in the dark. Here's your mini debate. Is the black and white owl the noble protector of the night, or just the rainforest's most stylish serial killer? Because sure, it's beautiful, but it also stares into your soul like it knows your browser history. Still, you've got to respect the energy. It's calm, calculated, never rushes, never misses. The kind of bird that makes patience look powerful. So what do you think? Hero, hunter, or just a very elegant creep? Either way, next time you hear that echo in the dark, remember it's not the wind, it's someone awake and watching. Number 14, and things are about to get weird. Meet the common parrot, the ghost of the forest floor, a bird so well camouflaged that half the time you're looking right at it and still don't see it. It's a creature of shadows, mottled brown and gray feathers that look exactly like dead leaves. Wide mouth, big dark eyes, and wings that whisper instead of flap. By day it lies flat on the ground, so still it could fool a motion sensor. By night it comes alive, fluttering low through the trees, catching insects in eerie silence. Imagine the world's most exhausted owl crossed with a bat. That's the parrot. It doesn't hunt so much as ambush. Moths, beetles, flying ants. If it glows or moves, it's dinner. Fun fact, when light hits its eyes at night, they shine bright orange like tiny coals. So if you're hiking with a flashlight in Guatemala's forest and see two glowing dots on the trail, that's not a demon? Probably. And that name, parrot, it comes from its own voice, a soft, haunting por-wa-ku that sounds like a sigh in the dark. Locals say it's the spirit of a tired traveler calling for rest, which makes sense. This bird always looks like it's 5 minutes away from a nap. Here's your mini debate. Is the common parrot the jungle's stealth genius, or just a sleepy little vampire bird that forgot how to build a nest? Because honestly, it doesn't even bother making one. It just lays its eggs right on the ground and trusts camouflage to do the rest. That's either laziness or pure confidence. Still, there's something magical about it. It's quiet, strange, and beautiful in the weirdest way. In a forest full of noise, it wins by doing absolutely nothing and doing it perfectly. So what do you think? Is the parrot the ninja of the night, or just the bird version of that one friend who sleeps through every alarm? Either way, it proves one truth of bird world. Sometimes invisibility is the ultimate flex. Number 15, engines on, wings steady, because this one doesn't perch, it patrols. Meet the lesser nighthawk, the fighter jet of Guatemala's twilight skies. All speed, silence, and swagger. You won't find it strutting like a toucan or singing like a robin. Nope. This bird waits for dusk, then launches into action like a tiny stealth pilot, zigzagging through the air after mosquitoes and moths. Its wings are long and scythe-shaped, its movements razor-sharp and eerily smooth. If Tom Cruise were a bird, this would be him, except this one doesn't need fuel or rules. From a distance, you might mistake it for a bat, but look closer. Gray-brown camouflage, white flashes under the wings, and that soft, pulsing peent-peent call echoing through the night. That's the sound of confidence, or maybe sonar with personality. Fun fact, lesser nighthawks have a special trick for surviving desert heat. They can lower their body temperature and heartbeat to conserve energy during scorching days. Basically, they nap so efficiently, they make professional meditators look like amateurs. And here's the twist. They don't build nests either. They just lay eggs directly on the sand, blending perfectly with pebbles and dust. No branches, no leaves, no effort. It's minimalism, but make it life or death. You'll spot them gliding over open plains and dry scrub, weaving through twilight like living boomerangs. They feed purely on the wing, snapping insects out of the air with that wide, silent mouth. They don't chase dinner, they become the chase. Here's your mini debate. Is the lesser nighthawk a master of adaptation, or just a lazy pilot that figured out the night shift pays better? Because sure, it's efficient, but it also looks like it's constantly late for curfew. Still, you can't deny the cool factor. When the jungle sleeps, this bird owns the sky. No noise, no spotlight, no mistakes. So what do you think? Stealth genius or nocturnal show-off? Either way, the next time you look up at twilight, remember that flicker in the dark? That's the night's fastest pilot clocking in. Number 16, and we're trading the jungle for the coast. Meet the mangrove cuckoo, a bird so chill it makes palm trees look stressed. It lives among the tangled mangroves of Guatemala's coastline, where the air hums with crickets and the tide whispers against the roots. Most birds flap around, making a scene. The cuckoo? Nah, it just glides in slow motion, like it's late for nothing. Golden brown above, white belly below, and that sleek black mask across its eyes. Like a tropical outlaw who decided crime looks better in beige. It moves quietly through branches, hunting caterpillars, frogs, and the occasional small lizard. No fancy calls, no acrobatics, just calm precision and really good taste. Fun fact, this bird is famously elusive. Even seasoned bird watchers can spend weeks without seeing one. It doesn't hide in darkness like the parak or fly high like a nighthawk. It just melts into the scenery. 1 second you swear it's gone, and then boom, there it is, staring straight at you like, did you just follow me? Rude. And yes, it's a true cuckoo. That means it sometimes lays its eggs in other birds' nests, leaving the parenting to someone else. It's nature's ultimate life hack, outsourcing childcare since forever. Some call it lazy, others call it strategic delegation. Here's your mini debate. Is the mangrove cuckoo a mysterious genius of survival, or just a laid-back beach bum who figured out how to game the system? Because sure, it's beautiful, but it's also the kind of bird that would probably show up to work and say, yeah, I'm mentoring from afar. Still, you have to admire that vibe. It's quiet, elegant, and completely unbothered. While the rest of the forest is in constant chaos, the cuckoo's just vibing with the tide. So what do you think? Mastermind or moocher? Either way, it's proof that in the bird world, sometimes the smartest move is doing absolutely nothing and looking good while you do it. Number 17, and the jungle just got loud and clever. Meet the white-throated magpie-jay, the bird that talks too much, steals too often, and is probably smarter than most of us before coffee. With its white chest, sapphire blue back, and that fabulous crest curling over its head, this jay doesn't just show up, it makes an entrance. If birds had reality TV, this one would star in it, win it, and steal the camera on the way out. These jays live in social groups with clear hierarchies. Leaders, lookouts, and troublemakers, usually the same individual. They work together to find food, warn each other about predators, and occasionally team up to raid another bird's nest. Teamwork, but make it chaos. Fun fact, scientists say the magpie-jay can mimic other birds' calls and even human noises. Imagine walking through a Guatemalan forest and hearing someone whistle behind you. You turn around and it's a jay laughing at you. That's not bird watching, that's bird trolling. And they're curious, sometimes too curious. They'll swoop down to investigate your backpack, camera, or breakfast sandwich, then fly off screaming victory calls like they just pulled off a heist. It's bold, brilliant, and slightly disrespectful. Basically, the raccoon of the sky. But here's the real twist. They're not just smart individually, they cooperate. Studies show they form alliances, remember faces, and even recognize who shares food and who doesn't. It's social intelligence, except everyone's a loud, gossipy genius. Here's your mini debate. Is the white-throated magpie-jay proof that brains and beauty can coexist, or just nature's way of saying, intelligence doesn't always come with manners? Because sure, they're gorgeous, but they also sound like a car alarm having a panic attack. Still, you can't help loving their attitude. They're funny, fearless, and unapologetically alive. A perfect mix of chaos and charm. So what do you think? Would you call it brilliant or borderline annoying? Either way, in the world of Guatemala's birds, this jay's not just part of the story, it's the one narrating it. Number 18, and it's showtime. Meet the snowy-crowned robin-chat, the rainforest's golden-voiced performer. The bird that doesn't just sing, it composes. With its bright orange belly, gray wings, and that clean white snow cap on its head, it looks like it's already dressed for its own concert. But the real star is the voice, a melodic, rippling tune that bounces through the canopy like sunlight flickering on water. Every note sounds perfectly rehearsed, and it probably is. These birds are masters of mimicry. They can copy the calls of other species, blend them into their own songs, and improvise new patterns every day. If jazz had feathers, it'd sound like this. Seriously, imagine waking up in Guatemala's rainforest to a remix of 20 bird calls. And somehow, it works. Fun fact, the robin chat songs actually help shape the dawn chorus. Other birds often time their calls to fit around its rhythm, as if the whole forest knows who's headlining the set. That's not ego. That's natural leadership through pure talent. And when it sings, it doesn't hide. It perches in open light, chest out, as if saying, "Good morning, peasants. Let's get this forest humming." The confidence is unreal and honestly deserved. But here's your mini debate. Is the snowy-crowned robin chat a musical genius or just the rainforest's biggest show-off? Because sure, it's brilliant. But when you're belting solos at 5 a.m., someone's probably trying to sleep. Still, you can't stay mad at it. Its song is pure joy, a sound that feels alive, spontaneous, and somehow human. It's the jungle's soundtrack, the kind of voice that makes you stop, listen, and smile for no reason. So what do you think? Is the robin chat nature's musician or the world's smallest diva with perfect pitch? Either way, in Guatemala's Green Orchestra, this bird doesn't just sing the notes, it writes the score. Number 19, and things are about to get chatty. Meet the gray parrot, the bird that listens, remembers, repeats, and sometimes roasts you while doing it. Okay, technically this species is more famous across Africa, but in Guatemala's aviaries and private sanctuaries, you'll find a few clever escape artists who've made the tropics their second home. And believe me, they've learned the language of chaos perfectly. The gray parrot isn't just smart, it's too smart. These birds can mimic human voices, imitate alarms, and even remember the tone you used when you yelled at them last week. Scientists say their intelligence rivals that of a 5-year-old child, which coincidentally is also the same energy level. Fun fact, one famous parrot named Alex could identify colors, count to 6, and understand the concept of 0. Let that sink in. A bird once grasped nothingness before most philosophers did. And they're emotional creatures too. They bond deeply with their humans, recognize faces, and sulk when ignored. It's adorable until they start repeating your phone conversations to guests you didn't want to overhear. You'll often see them perch proudly, grooming those perfect silver feathers, looking like tiny professors with wings, and judging you for mispronouncing words. Every squawk sounds like, "Really? That's your outfit?" But here's the kicker. They don't just mimic sounds, they attach meaning. Some can even use words contextually. Hello when you enter, bye when you leave. It's unsettling, like living with a small, feathery therapist. Here's your mini debate. Is the gray parrot a genius trapped in feathers, or just a professional mimic with excellent comedic timing? Because sure, it's brilliant, but it also once learned to order pizza in the UK using Alexa. True story. Still, you have to admire it. No other bird reminds us more that intelligence isn't just human. Sometimes it's perched on a branch, staring at you like it's waiting for you to say something stupid. So what do you think? Is the gray parrot the next Einstein? Or just a stand-up comedian with wings? Either way, never underestimate a bird that can talk back and win. Number 20, and we're ending with flair, drama, and a little bit of genius. Meet the Montezuma oropendola, the bird that refuses to choose between being a rock star and an engineer. You'll hear it before you see it. A wild, bubbling, gurgling call that sounds like a cartoon water bottle losing its mind. It's half bird, half sound effect. And when 100 of them start calling together, the rainforest turns into a tropical jazz concert nobody asked for. But everyone remembers. This bird is huge, it's nearly 2 feet long, with a dark chocolate body, bright yellow tail, and a weirdly colorful face that looks like it lost a paint war. But its most impressive feature? Its nest. Fun fact, Montezuma oropendolas weave enormous hanging nests, 3 to 6 feet long, dangling from high branches like living chandeliers. Dozens of them sway together in the wind, turning one tree into a feathered apartment complex. The colony can host up to 50 nests, basically a bird version of a luxury condo tower with constant drama. And that drama? Oh, it's real. Males compete by swinging upside down, displaying those flashy tails, and making that bubbling call like they're gargling applause. Females watch, unimpressed, as if thinking, "You sound like a drain pipe. Next." But here's the twist. Despite all the noise, they're brilliant architects. Their woven nests can withstand storms, wind, and predators. It's engineering perfection disguised as chaos. Here's your mini debate. Is the Montezuma oropendola a creative genius building homes in the sky, or just a noisy perfectionist who can't stop redecorating? Because sure, it looks a little ridiculous, but every great artist does mid-project. Still, you can't help loving their energy. They're loud, proud, and absolutely unapologetic, like the rainforest's final encore before the credits roll. So what do you think? Is the oropendola nature's ultimate showman, or the jungle's loudest workaholic? Either way, it proves one thing. Guatemala's wild wings don't just fly, they build empires that sing. And there you have it, 20 rare, wild, and wonderful wings of Guatemala. From the divine shimmer of the Resplendent Quetzal to the bubbling symphony of the Montezuma oropendola, this little country holds a sky so full of color, it makes the rainforest itself feel alive with rhythm. Some birds ruled the canopy with silence, others screamed their hearts out before sunrise. Some danced, some hunted with surgical precision, and one or two just refused to build nests out of sheer laziness. But together they tell one story, that nature here doesn't copy, it creates. Guatemala isn't just home to birds, it's a stage for evolution's boldest experiments. Feathers that glow like gems, songs that echo like myths, and characters that could rival any Hollywood cast. And maybe that's the real magic. In every jungle laugh, wing beat, and dawn chorus, you can still hear the ancient heartbeat of the Maya forest. So now tell me, if you could stand beneath one of these wings, which bird would you choose to meet face to face? The dancer, the hunter, or the legend itself?